Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
I think that this world, it needs men that are willing to make the hard call.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Ain't no thing like me except me.
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
Matt's coming. No. When do we start?
Welcome back to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast, the show where we talk about comics and other assorted topics.
You know, what we do is we bring people back together. We bring people a sense of unity and appreciation for each other.
Hey, I got all kinds of commentary about what we bring to people.
Apparently, we brought some guy to, feel the need to call his best friend up and apologize for being a dick to him.
He's also listening.
Listen, I'm glad we helped you. Let our dysfunction help you function.
So sad.
What, that we're dysfunctional?
Who cares? I'm too old to make new friends.
You have 3 friends.
Too many friends. No, we got all kinds of commentary this week. I got people saying, oh, the show's getting better. It was really funny. Hey, you made me smile this week. It was a good time. And then one guy was like, you guys are such assholes to each other. I felt the need to call my best friend and apologize.
I feel like that is the best of the backhanded compliments we've ever gotten.
All right, fine, whatever.
I didn't think we were that particularly bad to each other last week.
You're a
See, right here. Dear Editor's Note Podcast, I was in a fight with my wife and we were going to get a divorce. Since that called Jared I decided that, we should tough it out. Thanks, Editor's Note Podcast.
If they could keep moving forward, why were you pantomiming typing?
They're writing us a letter.
No one can see that.
Dear Editor's Note Podcast.
Stop pantomiming typing.
Dear Editor's Note.
Why are you writing now? Why have you regressed?
I think that a handwritten note has a little more thought behind it.
Technologically, you have digressed. You've
Dear
regressed.
Editor's Note.
And may I suggest you
Me?
I don't know.
Wow.
Because of that comment, I feel the need to be harsh to you. I don't actually care that much.
Well, I'm just going to not talk the rest of the podcast then. You said that's what I will do.
I appreciate if you actually would assist in commentating. Otherwise, it's just me talking into nothingness.
And really, we all know the star of the podcast is me.
The people like you.
They do, and I like the people. The flu, the nastiness that's going around, it's terrible. I apologize if I sound bad today. On this particular episode, if I just start all of a sudden sounding like I belong in a tuberculosis ward.
I'll edit that out.
Oh, well, thank you. That's very nice of you. Well, it may happen in the middle of a profound thought that you have. I just may all of a sudden start having a case of the whooping cough.
I'm not going to have a profound thought.
That's also a good point. I was trying to compliment you, and it was far overreaching. You're lucky to put together 3 sentences in a row without, setting fire to your hair because you've been thinking too hard.
Yeah, but that's what
your hair's
editing's
gonna
for.
fall out. Your hair's gonna fall out like Professor X at the end of Apocalypse.
Is my hairline going back? I can't tell.
You know what? A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like
Your widow's peak is becoming more pronounced.
it's more of a peak.
Yes, there's some deeper valleys on the side.
Some sharp V's.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
You please.
It's a big M on your forehead.
Oh God, it's Days of Future Past. Wait, was that timeline? Oh, that was Bishop's timeline. What Earth was that? Whatever. I'm moving on. Someone's yelling at me it's like Earth 811. I don't know which Earth it is. You don't know what I'm talking about. I'm moving on
to the news.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
Oh my God, so much news. Welcome to the 90% Star Wars show and whatever the hell else we have, because we might as well just do Star Wars.
Man, what a great weekend at Star Wars Celebration.
Did you watch the panels?
I watched one of the panels. I watched the panel that Warwick Davis hosted.
That was the 40. I only watched 2 of them. I'm not going to say I watched everything. I watched 2 of them.
That was the 40th anniversary panel.
Yep.
That was a pretty good panel.
So there was the 40th anniversary panel, which was pretty good. It had Warwick Davis, who was Wicket the Ewok. He was Willow. Not a Star Wars thing, but still he was Willow.
Professor Flitwick.
In the movie Willow.
Yes, he was also Professor Flitwick in the Harry Potter movies.
Yep, and that was a really cool panel. They got or at least a lot of the old cast members back. You got Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Peter Mayhew, Anthony Daniels, Billy D. Williams.
Man, doesn't he look bad?
He looks like a man his age.
He just doesn't look. He doesn't look very Lando Calrissian anymore. Actually, I shouldn't say he looks bad. He just looks. He hasn't aged the best out of everybody.
He's a man of leisure.
Yes. By the way, Warwick Davis gets top marks for the joke about Harrison Ford.
Yeah, crashing his
He's
plane.
like, oh, glad Harrison's here. We heard he was going to be late after he landed his plane on I-4.
The weirdest part of that for me, like, I like how George Lucas was talking. He's like, look, I'm not supposed to say this. These are children's movies, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, I like how Warwick Davis is like, it brings out the kid in all of us. But the weirdest part for me is I couldn't stop looking at how badly George Lucas's shirt fit.
Yes.
It's like, I can see so much of your gut. Like, buddy, you have gone from, like, whatever XL you were at to an extra X. Just, you got the money. Buy the shirt.
Were you surprised that Lucas was there for the whole panel? Like, he sat in on the whole thing? Or did you, like...
No, what I really liked about him, that shirt thing, who the hell cares? I actually don't care that much. It was just like...
You seemed really incredulous about it.
You have the money. Buy a shirt.
Yes.
Stop lying to yourself.
Okay.
You've added an extra X. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Have you looked in the mirror recently?
I've so many X's.
Exactly.
It's like porn over here.
Easy.
What I really liked about Lucas is, like, he clearly does not, I don't know, like, he's removed himself from it and he seems to be fine with it. But when it came to the important stuff, when it came to, like, eulogizing Carrie Fisher and it came to talking about John Williams, like, he snapped to attention. He became, like, a totally different guy.
Yeah.
Like, he became a showman.
Well,
and that's the stuff that mattered. Like, the rest of it, he's like, whatever, man. Star Wars, it's fine. Kid stuff.
I think, like, that part of it is because, like, he's looking at it now as, like, disassociating, trying to, like, pretend to be at peace with the fact that he sold everything he were. It's like the whole story of it to me is weird. If you look at the whole arc of George Lucas, he never wanted to be part of the big corporate system. He wanted to be on his own. And at the end of the day, he sold out to the biggest corporate system there is, Disney.
So, did you see that Carrie Fisher tribute?
Yes.
I got a little glassy-eyed.
That was very well done.
I watched it twice, glassy-eyed both times.
Oh my God, it was so well done.
I'm manly, so I didn't roll a tear, but I did get glassy-eyed.
So well done. Can I go back to my George Lucas point, though?
Yeah, why not?
'Cause, like, you know, he talked, especially, like, he got a lot of heat, rightfully so, for calling Disney, like, slavers.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was bad.
Who was that with? Was that, I have his name. His face. I don't know.
But,
that interviewer.
Like, it's like, he fought so long to fight the very thing he didn't want to be that he became that, and then he sold out to it.
He didn't sell out.
What would you...
He saved people's jobs. That's what he was doing.
He did that, but, like, I think he still struggles with that's what he had. Like, I think for him, hearing him talk and all the featurettes and everything you hear about, he just never wanted to be on under the umbrella of a big studio. And then he ultimately had to be. I think he still has a hard time coming to peace with the fact that he worked his whole life to not be under the umbrella of a big studio, and he ended up having to sell to a big studio.
But that was kind of the 40th. It was nice. It was a good time. And then there was the Star Wars Episode 8 panel, which we learned some things.
Yes.
We learned there's going to be a new character, Rose. I'm not familiar with the actress. I don't think I've seen her before. She's going to be a maintenance worker who kind of connects with Finn. Finn, we know, is healing. We see him in a variation of a BAFTA tank, but they also showed some behind-the-scenes photos of him, like, walking about, which, you know, doesn't really surprise me that he's healed up. What's weird is he's wearing the same jacket he was before. That jacket got sliced up the back with a lightsaber. Still has the same jacket.
They could have a good tailor, you know.
Apparently someone is a seamstress in Star Wars. I'm not sure who it is.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, they hemmed his jacket. Well, actually, technically is Poe Dameron's jacket, but...
Yeah. Based on some comments Mark Hamill made at the panel, I'm convinced that Rey is in no way related to Luke. He was going down the line. He's like, I see, you know, Ryan Johnson, and I see God, and it's like I see he kept on saying, and I see Daisy Ridley, and I see that other person. Like, yeah, okay, so definitely not your daughter if you're making cracks about it.
Yeah,
Rey is in no way related to Luke. I will put money down on it. I will bet a thumb even.
Wow,
bet a thumb against me. If you do, I will cut it off. We can have this bet.
I like my thumbs. I'm not gonna.
Do you think that Rey's Luke's daughter?
No, I didn't think that she was.
You feel like
I didn't ever think she was.
I don't want to lose a thumb here.
I think that Rey is related to, like, Han and Leia.
Director Ryan Johnson said in an interview later on that it will be dealt with, but it's kind of unclear if her parentage is going to be resolved in this movie.
I'm trying to think of like who else her parents could be.
I think she's a Kenobi. I think Obi-Wan got bored on Tatooine and got down.
I wouldn't be upset with that in any way, shape, or form.
And I have a theory going into that because...
But, okay, so here's
you ruined my transition.
the one piece of that, all right? Because this happens how many years after Jedi?
Equal number of years, like 30?
30 years? She's not
30
really
something.
30 years old in this.
I forget what number of years they said it took place.
Even that, I don't
afterwards.
think I think she's too young to be Kenobi's daughter. That's my, like, if you look at the timeline, I think she's too young to be Kenobi's daughter.
Maybe.
Now, she could be Kenobi's granddaughter.
Well,
I'd buy that.
No, that's what I think. I think she's the granddaughter.
I could definitely buy that.
I don't think it's a direct lineage. I think it's a granddaughter.
So she could be that, or, I mean,
That's my guess.
the number
anyway.
of other Force-sensitive individuals available to, use the Force with, so to say, is limited.
But so watching the episode 8 panel, it was actually really funny. They go, and of course we have a teaser, and everyone goes like, "What?" They go poster, and everyone goes, "Oh."
I like the poster, though.
It's a good poster, but it was really funny listening to that live reaction.
Yes.
Just between two words. Oh. And then they do show the trailer.
Yes.
Which I have a breakdown for.
Shockingly.
Look,
I have some thoughts on the trailer, too, by the way, as
would-
we get into it.
I would like to hear them.
Yes. Right now? Or are we just going to go through the trailer?
I'm basically going through the trailer.
Uh,
I have many thoughts.
Well, you and I have talked. Is there going to be an opening crawl?
Yeah, of course.
But it looks like it picks up, like, boom, right where it left off. Unless you do the opening crawl and there's something else going on, and then it transitions.
It's probably going to be like, the First Order has regained their forces and blah-de-blah, and they're a bunch of dickheads or something.
Yeah, but this is like the first Star Wars movie that's going to take place, like, immediately after the events.
That's true. They'll probably just say what, get everyone up to speed. Like,
Rey has found Luke Skywalker. Well, we know that from the previous movie. There has to be a crawl. I'm just curious as to what the crawl is going to say. And
That's very true. It's probably going to be... I assume it's going to deal with the First Order, so they can just move that plot forward.
yeah,
But the trailer opens up. Like you said, I don't think this takes place very far after the way the last movie ended, because Rey is still in the same costume. And we see her kind of collapse on the ground, which is very similar to the first teaser that we got for Force Awakens.
yes.
We're getting, like, the shot of Tatooine, and then Finn pops up, which is also cut differently in the final product. But we see Rey falling on the ground. I believe she's having some kind of Force vision like she had in the previous movie, because I think we're going to see some of that. We know that Luke is going to be training her. We see a shot of Leia from behind, and there's been some behind-the-scenes photos that do confirm that it is Leia. She's looking at a map, which is very different from the map that R2 and BB-8 showed. We also see Admiral, and I don't think his name was actually said in the movie, Admiral Satura, who played by Ken Leung, who I also know from Lost and
Yes.
X-Men 3. Then we see the smashed mask. And at first I thought it might be Kylo Ren's mask that he smashed. I think it's Vader's mask. I can't confirm it, but we do hear the Vader breathing behind it. So the smashed mask I do think is Vader's. And then we can hear some background vocals, which I couldn't pick them all out. I tried, I listened, I could not pick them all out, and I also didn't want to read anyone else's breakdown.
No.
But you can hear, like, corrupted by the dark side behind the breathing and the smashed mask.
I don't think that's Kylo. It could be his mask. He could be making a new mask. He could. No, I think it's got to be.
I think it's Vader's. And of everything I did in this breakdown, that is the part of this trailer I stared at the hardest. I'm like, what is? At first, I thought it was Kylo Ren's. Then I switched to Vader's, and I'm sticking to Vader. I might be wrong. The important part that I think is kind of the crux of this movie, we hear the idea of the balance of the Force, and we see that there is a beam of light pointing at an entire bookshelf.
You know what those are? I think those are the Journals of the Wills.
I think that's part of it. But I think that tree itself, this island it has vegetation, it doesn't have a lot of trees. I think that this tree is acting kind of in the same way that the cave in Dagobah did, but the tree itself, I think that a fair amount of this movie is going to be connected to the comics, although I don't think the comics are required reading. If you go off of the 4-part series Shattered Empire took place literally minutes after Jedi finished, And one of the big plot points in there was Luke getting 2 Force trees that were left from the Jedi Temple in Coruscant. He gave one to Poe Dameron's mother and father, and he kept one for himself. I think the tree that we see is one of those 2 Force trees. And some of the books that we see, I agree. I think one of them is the Journal of the Wills. The Wills itself was brought up in Rogue One, so we know that is a thing in this universe now.
Those 2 guys, well, I can't remember the Force is me and I went on the Force. They were keepers of the Wills.
Yep, Baz and Chirrut.
Yes.
But I think one of the other books that's in there is in the comics. About every 10 issues or so, there'll be a one-off of Luke reading from Obi-Wan's journal.
Yeah.
So it's actually, I really like the stories of Obi-Wan and his time on Tatooine. But I bet one of the books in that tree will be Obi-Wan's journal. And I bet that will be the thing that reveals Rey's parentage.
Yes.
The other thing that we see, and what I assume is the Journal of the Wills.
Is that symbol?
Are you reading my notes? Or
No.
you paying attention?
I've
You're
been
paying
paying
attention. All right.
Yes.
Stepping up.
Because that symbol's also like
The same symbol on the poster.
on the poster, and it's similar to the symbol that Luke makes on the original poster where he's holding up the lightsaber.
Yeah. So I think what that symbol is, and I'm going to kind of jump ahead here, I think that Luke is going to train Rey to be something that isn't a Jedi. Because he says, like, it's time for the Jedi to end. I think what he's training Rey to be is something different, something that lives in between the light and the dark, what is supposed to be the balance of the Force.
The Gray Jedi?
I've heard of that. I have no idea what that is. I guess, look, I can only speak to what I know. I guess there's something from Star Wars Rebels. I don't know what the Gray Jedi is, and I guess people were like, it looks like that tree monster thing. I don't, look, I can only speak to what I know. And I don't watch Star Wars Rebels, so I don't know those things. Then we see some ships flying, and you can see them dragging a piece of their ship underneath them that's kicking up this red dust. What that is that's a new planet called, I'm not sure how to pronounce it because I've never heard it out loud, Kryat, something.
Kryat.
Kryat. I'm going to say Kryat.
Yes.
Apparently it's a remote and uncharted mining facility where an old rebel base is. I looked at a bunch of Star Wars maps. This is a totally new thing, which is, fine.
New is good. I like new.
Do what you want.
Yes, please.
But this is supposed to be an old rebel base. We see some ships that are dragging their base towards a bunch of new kind of walkers. I don't think these are necessarily rebel ships. If it's an old rebel base and this is uncharted, I think it might be whoever the population currently is on them going at the walkers before the rebels. But I guess they're going to have to go to this base at a crucial part in the film to uncover something. So I don't think this is going to be until Act 3-ish.
Kyber crystals.
I doubt it. What do they need those for at this point?
That's a good point. Star Killer Base 2.
Yeah, they say director Rian Johnson said that they're going to go to the old rebel base when the rebels need to deal with a very pressing and immediate threat. So take what you will out of that. Like I already said, we see Finn healing, but he is going to get out of that. There's going to be more BB-8 in this movie with more goofs and gags. Confirmed at the panel that there's going to just be more of him,
being that release.
Being adorable.
Aww.
What's interesting for me is we see Poe Dameron's X-Wing blowing up. I think we're going to see the real first victory that the Empire or First Order, whatever, the first evil side victory we're ever going to see. Like you could say when they were at Hoth, they won a battle. But really we just saw everyone gingerly walking to their ships and evacuating.
Yeah,
I think we're going to see the first big rebel defeat in this movie.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, it's got to be.
I think the rebel base gets fully destroyed wherever they're at, and that's why they have to go to that other remote one.
Like they need to find a place and immediately.
After that, we see Captain Phasma, who apparently is going to have a 5-issue comic book series about how she escaped her trash compactor
before the place blew up.
Yeah, this is a thing that's happening. We see her and some stormtroopers. I think that's going to be, she's going to be when at the rebel base when it's being destroyed. I also think that Kylo Ren is going to be there. We see the one shot of him with a scar across his eye. He has flames behind him. We see a bunch of flames when Phasma and the stormtroopers are there. So I think Kylo Ren and Phasma are both at the destruction of the rebel base. Then we cut to another shot that shows Luke and R2 standing in front of something burning. I think that's going to be Rey's Force vision.
Now, here's my theory on that. Okay, her Force vision that she had in Force Awakens was seeing
this. Yeah, we saw some of that, yeah. So I think it's going to be a continuation, whatever she sees.
I don't know if it's going to be... I think it's going to actually happen as opposed to... what she saw was the future.
Oh, I don't think that. It's potential, but... Maybe I'm wrong.
It could be. I mean,
I think that's going to be that flashback of the base being destroyed, but you're right.
Well, no,
Force-
because, I mean, you see the picture of him in front of that giant structure that's on fire. To me, it takes away that it's on Mustafar. I don't think it's on Mustafar anymore.
No, I think it's wherever.
I mean, it's
he
still
was
maybe
training Jedi.
It still maybe could be. It could be Vader's castle.
I mean, you're right. It could be something that's in the future though versus the past. But I'm guessing the past, but I could be wrong.
Just a thought. Because then, I mean, think about you saw the flames. You see the flames with Kylo Ren, and you see that Luke's in this place with fire. I think it leads some credence to the fact that, Rey's maybe seeing the future.
And then that's kind of, and I already talked about the ending of like the Jedi to end, which I don't think is really like, it's ending the Jedi, but creating something new.
Yes.
When I was going through the IMDb, the characters that we don't see that are familiar, we don't see Admiral Akbar, who's going to be returning, even though one of the two guys who brought that character to life have passed away, and Nub Nub.
I like him.
He was not seen in the trailer, but apparently he's going to be in the movie.
Were we going to get any Lando in this one? No.
No Lando. As you said, he is. If we were going to get Lando, they would have sent him away to fat camp.
Uh-oh.
They did it with Carrie Fisher and Mark
true.
Hamill. Like,
They
you
did.
can't get that.
They very much did. I was entertained by the trailer. I'm very excited. I liked
it, but it didn't rock my world. Like, when the Force Awakens trailer, like, the tease happened.
Yeah.
We get the Millennium Falcon and we get the music, and it just brings you back. And then the next one, we got Han Solo being like, Chewie, we're home. Like, you can't have that same effect this time around.
No, but I think the next trailer is going to be really, really important. I want to see.
I didn't I liked it. I just wasn't like,
We see the lightsaber training on the side of the hill. We see some of that. We see that Rey's working on some of her Force skills. This is like new Dagobah. It's going to be the new Dagobah.
Is Luke going to hit her with a stick going, mine?
Well, probably take the lightsaber back. Mine.
God, that'd be painful.
I wonder if the first question if his is going to be, where did you get that?
I think the first line he says is going to be, who are you, according to footage that's been seen by others.
That's interesting. Like, I would think Luke would know who she is, or have an idea of who she is.
I guess we'll find out in December.
We will.
Speaking of Star Wars, more Star Wars news. To contradict the thing I said last week that was reported on, Carrie Fisher will not appear in Episode 9, according to Kathleen Kennedy.
She will not?
Yeah, she said that her brother, who put out the statement that she was going to, must have been confused, which is all kind of weird, but
yeah.
I guess, yeah, this will be Leia's last movie. Still, we'll see what happens there. But supposedly this is the end. Until, like, the final product's put out, who the hell knows?
Yes.
But, I don't know, we have conflicting reports now. One from Carrie Fisher's brother saying that he and Billie Lourd, her daughter, were approached by Lucasfilm asking for permission. And now Kathleen Kennedy going, no, that's not happening. So, who knows?
So maybe in that first big rebel defeat, part of that includes, like, Princess Leia is in the base when it gets destroyed.
I don't know. Who knows? I'm not sure how this is going to go down. It came out this week that apparently DC is working on an R-rated Watchmen adaptation that's going to be animated.
I had heard about that. You know how I love The Watchmen.
Yep. I'm well aware of how closely you read that book.
Yes.
I don't know. The live action is relatively close. It changes the ending, but beyond that, it's not that far off. So I don't really see the point in this.
Just
money.
Money, and there are people that want to draw blue penises. You animate a blue penis.
It's the only way you can do it. Gotta do it R-rated. I don't know. I have no interest in this. I have the book. I have I know some people don't like it. I like the Watchmen movie.
Yeah?
To hell with you if you don't. I don't actually care what your opinion is, like it or don't. It's all fine. Like what you like.
Yeah. Crom, if you do not help me, to hell with you.
Also a good movie.
It is a very good movie. Again, I still contend that that's one of the most self-serving prayers in the history of a movie.
Probably.
Crom, I've never prayed to you before, but I want you to help me.
I don't understand how everyone else, like, withered away and died and Arnold became massive when they were pushing that wheel at the beginning of the movie.
That's a good point.
Like, how? How did everyone else get scrawny and die and you just became the biggest man ever?
Because he was fueled by anger.
Nope.
And
it's
revenge.
weird. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Here's another thing to think about, by the way, or interesting factoid. Did you know that at strongmen and strongwoman competitions, they have an event called Conan's Wheel?
No.
They do. It's a device that you lift up and you walk it around in a circle, like a wheel, and then you put it down and you add weights to it, and you do that until you can't push it around the circle anymore.
Oh, weird.
It's called Conan's Wheel. Nobody gets big like Arnold doing that, though. They don't do it for, like, years.
20 years.
Yeah.
Bill Corden, director of the recent Beauty and the Beast, is apparently up for Bride of Frankenstein. Why is this perfect? Well, let me tell you.
Oh, yes, please do. I was hoping you would.
I plan on it. Because at first I'm like, who the hell is that? Then I saw what he's done before. He did a movie back in the 90s called Gods and Monsters, which is...
Well, I feel like that's familiar.
It's a line taken right out of Bride of Frankenstein, but it was a biopic of the director of Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, James Whale. It starred Ian McKellen and Brendan Fraser. It's an amazing, not fully historically accurate, but an amazing movie. And this guy clearly has a love and respect for the Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein movie. If anyone's going to do in this world, give this man that movie. I want it. I want it bad.
You just used the word Brendan Fraser and amazing movie in the same sentence.
Did you not see a Looney Tunes back in action?
No, I did not.
They were back in action.
I thought he was fantastic in The Mummy.
Nope. We're going to talk about Dolph Lundgren now.
Okay.
He's an
Yes,
Aquaman.
please. What?
Yeah.
All right.
So you need Dolph Lundgren.
Speaking of Dolph Lundgren, because that makes me think of Jean-Claude Van Damme from when they were together in The Expendables. I was channel surfing today as I was on vacation, kind of like convalescing from this nasty flu I've had. Guess what movie I came across? And I watched the end of it, and I was reminded about how terrible this movie was. Remember the movie Street Fighter?
Yep.
I don't know why as a kid I thought this movie was good. I think though, even as a kid, like I was like, this movie's
what a rough movie.
over the top. Yeah.
Over the top. Was anyone turning around their baseball hat?
There was no legitimate arm wrestling.
And learning
competition.
about how to connect with your son?
No.
Okay, then it's not over the top.
But Jean-Claude Van Damme roundhouse kicking Roll Julia across a room into a bank of TVs.
That's not his last movie.
It was. He had
Jeez.
stomach cancer while he was filming that movie.
Is that what got him? Stomach cancer?
Stomach cancer.
Ooh, rough. Dolph Lundgren is going to be an Aquaman.
Also, by the way, Roll Julia was nominated for a Saturn Award for that performance as M. Bison in that movie.
More casting news. Josh Brolin is going to play Cable in Deadpool 2.
Didn't we know this?
No.
Oh, no, wait. Who did we thought? Oh, you thought Matt Damon was going to be Cable.
Brad Pitt was up for the
Brad Pitt,
role.
yeah.
Michael Shannon was up for the role. But Josh Brolin, the square-headiest of square-headed actors, is going to play Cable.
I like Josh Brolin, though. He
So
does a
do
good
I.
job. He did a really, really good job in Men in Black 3 playing like
I
Tommy
thought so
Lee Jones.
too. Yeah,
he was a really good
He
young.
was. That was surprisingly
But everything he does, he's good at. Like, he really dives into the role. So that should be really good.
good. I don't know. In the Goonies, I don't know if I believe him.
Easy. Do the truffle shuffle.
Damn teenage
Do
actor.
the truffle shuffle.
No. You do the truffle shuffle.
I'm not fat.
Shield's definitely getting canceled.
And are we sad about this?
It's actually good now.
Well, end on a high note. Like you've said
Apparently.
before. End on a high note.
But when I went to go watch it last week, I have to wait 8 days. I don't have cable or anything, so anything I watch, I have to watch online. I went to ABC's website. There's a drop-down menu, and you can kind of click on, like, the shows that they're pushing. I'm like, where the hell is it? I had to go into, like, their full show rundown of, like, their daytime soaps to find where it was. I'm like, oh, you guys are done.
Yeah. We're burying you.
Yeah, if you're, like, at the deepest, darkest ends of this website and your ratings are constantly going down, you're all done.
That was a good little run for it. What, 5 years, 6 years?
4 years.
4 years.
Felt like more.
Especially in the middle.
Oh, so bad. March, comic book sales. DC
Yes.
has overtaken Marvel.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is the first time in years, like on a month-to-month sale base. It's a little over 1%, but DC last month was the higher seller than Marvel.
Why do you think this is? Let's dive into this a little bit. Let's get your insider perspective as to why do you think is DC just putting out better books and better stories right now, or is Marvel?
No, because even DC
gotta-
stuff is leveling out a little bit. I think it's more Marvel is trying to play the gimmick game a little too much.
Do you maybe think too that with Marvel's saturation of TV and movie right now, people are like, I don't need to get the books because I can just watch the TV show, or I can just read. Instead of reading a book, I can just watch a show.
I think Marvel is trying to plan too much ahead for the future of the movies and TV shows by introducing legacy characters under like Iron Man and Thor and Captain America and trying to create replacement characters for established movie franchises so when people's contracts are up, they can then replace them with what at that point would be established characters. And I think people are really warming up to these new characters.
So you would say that the the cinematic TV universe is playing a role.
I think it's hurting it in the sense that they're trying to plan for actor contracts. And I think that has something to do with the decreased sales, is they're trying to create legacy characters that people just aren't that interested in. Not that they're bad books or bad characters, but people will follow, at least right now, people are following characters more than they're following creatives or artists.
So, do you think Marvel will see a bump here, especially with Guardians coming out in less than a month?
We'll see. They're relaunching Guardians with a new #1, but...
Also, did you see that there are going to be 5 after-credit scenes?
We're getting there. That's our next bit of news.
Sorry.
Did you know that Guardians of the Galaxy is going to have 5 post-credit scenes?
I had heard that somewhere.
I feel like they're going to be trying to subvert the genre with that ridiculousness. 5.
Okay, let's think about what they may have to do here. They've obviously got to have one in there for Ragnarok.
No, and I think what they're going to...
And they're going to be setting up Infinity War.
What I really want to see is I don't want to see Howard the Duck actually in the movie. For all 3 Guardians of the Galaxy, I just want to see the continuing adventures of Howard the Duck in post-credit scenes. So I hope he's one of them.
Are we ever going to watch Howard the Duck?
Next week.
All right.
I think I have to check the schedule. I think it's next week. Gotta pay like $2.99 to rent that crap.
It's not on Netflix?
No.
Where are you going to rent it from?
I think it's on YouTube. You can rent it on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
You have to come over for that.
Oh, yes.
Side note.
Okay, thank you for the heads up.
Unless you want to pay for it yourself.
Nope.
Okay, then. But speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn confirmed that he will be writing and directing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. They also released the soundtrack today.
I saw that. So, some of the songs are not surprising. They've been played in the trailers so far.
Yeah, some of the trailer ones weren't released on the soundtrack. They were supposed to be like the Bowie song that they've been playing isn't on the soundtrack. But I went through today and on Spotify I listened to all the assorted tracks. I don't like it quite as much as the first one, but there's still some good songs in there. I think we're going to see a bittersweet end to Star-Lord and his father. There's a Cat Stevens song that's about like father and sons like separating.
No, that's not Cats in the Cradle.
No. Who did that song?
Cat Stevens did that one.
That wasn't Cat Stevens.
Oh, no, it was Harry Chapman. Sorry.
Yes, yep, you're right. There it is.
My apologies. I think I just got about 800 people. God, I hope we have 800 people listening, but
no,
I'm pretty sure like at least 2 people either drove off the road or like Googling where I live so they can throw a brick through my window.
Good news for me. Kong is coming to TV.
I'm sure it's good news for more than just you.
Not just me. It's for me.
Oh. But you don't have TV.
Oh, no. Oh, God, I've run into a jam here.
Have you just
I hope I can watch it 8 days later.
Are you having this realization just now?
Or maybe I have to purchase it on iTunes.
What channel is it coming to? Do we know?
I don't remember.
Oh. Are you going to be like, hey, Jared, I need to come over. Kong's on tonight.
Yeah, sure. I'll just do what I do with other shows that I can't get. I'll just buy it on Apple.
Oh, wow. So you wouldn't ask, can I come over to your house to watch this show for free? You would rather pay like 99 cents or $1 or $2 on Apple?
Yes.
Then leave your home.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. You are a hermit.
Yeah, a little bit.
There's no little bit about it. You could be found of one of 2 places right now, the shop or your house.
Yeah, probably.
Do you go other places? Do you go to the store?
Or
Or do you hire somebody to like grocery for you?
I'd rather not. Mostly because there's that one weird girl there. I always try to avoid her.
That's me, dude.
One of the cashiers there. She just makes weird comments.
So then go to the self-checkout line.
You can't do that if you have alcohol.
Oh. Then don't go to her line.
I usually avoid her.
So
like,
then
you have no one. I'm going to go to the line with 20 people.
So what's the issue then there?
That's really the only thing.
Why don't you get your alcohol at Rite Aid? I think it's cheaper.
Do you know the one weird girl I'm talking about?
No, because I usually just go through the self-checkout line.
No.
And you just still go through the self-checkout line with alcohol. It just makes the guy come over and do your ID that way.
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never done that.
I mean, I've done it accidentally, and I felt like it was probably like a no-no, but whatever.
Cloak and Dagger had its first trailer today coming to Freeform. Looks like crap, don't really care.
Well, that was quick review of that.
But if you want to buy their first appearance, I have that at the store.
Would you say that the book is good? Do you enjoy the book? Would you recommend it?
Oh, they appeared in a Spider-Man book.
All right, there you go.
I have that book. I don't know. The trailer really did nothing for me. I'm like, teenagers! Woo!
With superpowers.
Woo!
We've seen this before.
Yeah. I don't really care about them as characters in the books. Cloak is basically there to teleport people. That's really all he does.
Oh, that's not a bad gig to have.
And Dagger is there to be with Cloak because he's boring.
Because he's like the Uber of superheroes.
Basically.
You need to go somewhere?
No, I could care less. It didn't look very... I'll check it out when
You
it
couldn't
happens.
care less. If you could care less, it means you do care a little bit.
Then I guess I care a little bit.
All right. Wow.
I have feelings, okay?
That's a lie.
Fair. Fair and accurate. Oh, man. So much news. Coming at you fast. And
I wouldn't say it's coming at you fast. We're kind of plodding along through the news.
it's coming at you eventually.
All the news that's fit to talk about, a lot of it isn't.
I didn't skip some of the news. I'm like, so much news. Next week we'll have no news. But like, I don't know. Stuff happened, I guess.
There were things.
I guess we could talk about North Korea. We could talk about real news next
No,
week.
jeez. Did you see, by the way, this was funny today when the Patriots were at the White House? Rob Gronkowski crashed the press briefing.
Yes, I did see that.
He over there,
Yeah.
hey, Sean, you need some help?
Probably. Captain Marvel has found its directors, plural.
Yes.
It's a good thing. Captain Marvel moving forward. Marvel's first female film. It's going to be directed by Anna Bodine and Ryan Fleck. Who are these people, you ask?
Hey, who are these people?
They directed Mississippi Grind and other things that I haven't seen.
Oh, okay.
So it's one of those I'm like, cool, directors, don't know them. Hopefully they'll be good.
Does it, if you're Scarlett Johansson, are you mad that the first female-led Marvel movie isn't going to be Black Widow?
I guess it depends on how much they paid her.
That's a good point. If they've paid her a ton, do you think she's probably, But she's also been in a ton of the movies.
Yeah.
What could you do? What kind of Black Widow story could you do at this point, though? She's been in so many movies.
Lady Bond. Just do a James Bond movie with Black Widow.
Yeah, but at this point, like, she's kind of been outed.
But with a less catchy theme song.
I can't think of anything.
Look, you asked, I answered.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
With that... Oh, we're finally done with the news. That took forever.
Does that mean we're going to Jared's Reading Corner?
Damn right.
It's Jared's Reading Corner.
What is it, like a Shaft theme? Jared's Reading Corner. You damn right.
Jared! Doesn't work.
Oh, sure it
You don't have
does.
the same as like, Shaft!
Shaft.
By the way, I'm a little bit sick. I can't get a falsetto going.
No, you can't.
My woos were underwooed because I can't get that high right now.
I had like the, you know when you get like really sick and you're just coming out of it, you get an even deeper voice than normal, like super deep gravelly.
Yeah, you gotta go like a lower octave.
I kind of dig it. I just wish I didn't.
Shaft!
You're damn right.
But this week we're going to talk about one of the weirder books that I've ever come across. And I refuse to tell you the context of it before you got into it.
Yes, you did.
So I'm going to take you back in time. Back to 1986.
Shaft!
I
That
hope
was
Shaft
the
was on it.
70s. That was like 60s, 70s.
Who the hell knows?
That was disco, man.
We weren't alive. We don't care.
I was.
You weren't alive in the 70s.
Oh, I thought you meant 86. I was alive in 86.
You weren't alive in the 60s either.
No, I was not.
I'm going to take you back to 1986. We're going to Massachusetts.
Okay. The Bay State.
But back in 1986 in Northampton, Massachusetts, small book came out, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 8. What was special? He just looked at the book. You're like, that's not what I read. I'm explaining a thing to you.
Oh, okay.
What are we talking about? I'm going to explain a context to you.
Okay, please do.
But number 8 comes out, and it's a little bit special because it's their first crossover book. They cross over with the Dave Sim independent character Cerebus, who is a medieval aardvark.
Okay.
Cerebus kind of started the whole black and white indie book thing, and crossing over was a big deal at the time. But when it came time to start talking about reprinting these books somewhere down the road, it was unclear if they were going to be able to get the rights to the character to reprint things in a graphic novel. So there started being some passive-aggressive letters in the back of Cerebus books, in the back of Ninja Turtles books, in the mid-2000s between Dave Sim and Peter Laird, who were never directly talking to each other, but talking to the ether. Like, I don't know if he's going to let me. He's like, yeah, it's fine. I'll let you. He's like, I don't know. Kind of this weird back and forth. So there was a concern that they weren't going to be able to reprint their early works. So Peter Laird, co-creator of the Ninja Turtles, commissioned 2 of the staff members to totally rework number 8 because it introduced important characters to the mythos, and it's hard to explain the mythos without character introductions. So the idea was to create a whole new story to introduce characters to be able to replace number 8 and be reprinted. Except it turns out that all of the licensing stuff worked out fine in the future, and they were able to reprint it, no problem. So the intended replacement issue ended up in a collection in Mexico. It's not where the weirdness stops.
I feel like I should have a giant corkboard in front of me with
Yeah.
like push buttons and string.
Oh, you're going to need it because it's going other places.
Okay, so we've gone from Massachusetts to Mexico.
Yep, so translated to Spanish, released in Mexico in a collection there. Not as an individual issue, but released in a graphic novel. And
What,
then,
the intended replacement?
yeah.
Okay.
And then it's just in Mexico. I think it comes out 2006, if memory serves. I should have researched more, but I'm going off of memory. You know what? I'm right. It's 2006.
Oh, wow. Sassy.
So then, from Mexico, what was originally scripted in English is translated to Spanish, is in Mexico. The English script is lost. From Mexico, it goes to Russia. Yep, yeah, move that pin.
Yep, okay.
It's reprinted for the first time by itself in Russia.
It's always Russia.
Well, it's funny. There's a guy over there. I don't know how many Russian fans there are, but there is one guy who's
There's one guy in Russia, just one.
There basically is. There's one guy who's like responsible for all like the reprinting of Turtle stuff over in Russia. He has his own publishing company. He does, a fair amount, but it's reprinted in Russian for the first time. So English to Spanish, the English is lost. From Spanish to Russian, and then this guy over in Russia reprints it in English without the original English script because it's gone.
So we've gone from English to Spanish to Russian back to English.
Translated by a Russian and another English guy.
So pretty much what you had me read, because I'm going to do a little sleuthing here. This book that you have here is a failed retcon that went through 3 languages to come back to this language.
Yep. And then it was reprinted in English. I think like 100 copies were reprinted with the original Spanish. And then there was a second edition reprinted, again, about 100 copies, with a new front opening page. Tales of the TMNT, which is what they've put this under, always had a front piece where they would say, like, someone would be like, something, 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 let me tell you a story. Then it would go into the main thing.
Yes.
There was one done in Mexico. And then the artist behind this, Jim Lawson, ended up redoing another one for this second edition that was printed over in Russia. So to get my hands on this, I had to order it from the guy who did this in Russia.
So you order this from a Russian guy?
Yeah.
Wow.
There are only about 200 of these in existence. He's also the guy who did the cover art.
The Russian guy did?
Yep.
Wow.
He's also put this on the internet for free.
Why is it number 71?
The reason that it's number 71. Tales of the TMNT ended in May 2010 with issue number 70. That was the last Turtles book that was supposed to be published. Since that time, volume 4, 31, and 32 have come out, and then this. So Turtles has ended essentially 4 separate times. But this is currently the most recent thing to come out from the original Mirage run. Even though it says the printing company for this is Illusion Studios over in Russia.
Wow.
So how is that for a weird, convoluted mess of a comic book?
I need a drink.
But so, I gave you none of that context. I just said, read this.
Nope. Doesn't really change a whole lot for me.
Isn't that weird, though? How is that not a weird origin for a comic?
That's a super weird origin.
That has, like, gone around the globe
so pretty
and
much
took 11 years to come out, or like 10 years to come out in English.
So it's a it was meant to be a retcon.
Yep. Got printed in Spanish.
Printed in Spanish.
In Mexico.
In Mexico. Did it ever get printed in English in America?
Never.
No. So, like, by the time they finished writing it, finished doing everything.
They finished this 11 years ago.
And then.
And I might have got
at
it
the
like
same
in
time
2016.
At the same time they made the deal to be able to reprint
Number 8.
Number 8.
Yeah, that came out in 2009, so there was some in between space. But yeah, basically this didn't see in English printing until like 10 years later.
Wow. What do Murphy and Lawson think? Do you know, or
no idea?
Do you think they care?
I don't know. I know that Jim Lawson, the guy who did the art, has been in contact with the Russian guy. He's asked Jim to do some art for the cover of collections that he's posted on Facebook for the Russian editions.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so Jared's Reading Corner. Explain what happens in this weird, weird comic.
All right. Well, in this weird, weird comic, well, the character, what was it?
Renette.
Renette. I guess we now learn of an alternative version of when they have them meet Renette.
Yeah, so when we first meet her, and what this book ends up doing is the way that it was reprinted, and I guess some of the dialogue was changed to try and make it work, so this doesn't act as a replacement, but acts as a supplement. She's like, act surprised when you meet me for the first time in 1986, because this book takes place in 1985.
Yeah. Like it's, well, it's easy to use, like, time travel to change. I mean, that's the time-honored, if you want to change, like, the flow of a story or canon, you use time travel. Because you're like, oh yeah, I went back in time and changed all these things. I mean, we see that all the time. So we get a little piece of time travel. So Renette appears over the New York skyline. And, well, it opens up with her kind of like sitting there and be like, waxing poetic about if, would you would you be able to go back in time and like relive something and meet people but not even know, or they won't even know that they know you? How would that feel, kind of thing? Well, let me tell you a story, as you so eloquently say are in these Tales of the TMNT.
They only did it like 80 times.
Oh, this is why you told me not to read the inside cover, because you're telling me this was the story.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I get it now. You're like, oh no, that's not important. Don't worry about
I
it.
said going cold.
So she shows up, and out of nowhere, Renette does. Kind of has like a Amazonian look to her.
She has a fun hat. She has a scepter. Not much in the way of pants.
Nope, but she's wearing like a bikini. She's wearing some high boots, though. Give her that. But she's a time something or other. Not really a time lord, but a time
Master.
And she's got like watches that kind of hang off of her breasts, as you can see here. Some timepieces. You can't see them as you're listening, but I'm just pointing out to Zach that it is, according to her left breast, it's like 5 of 8.
But what does her navel say?
Can't tell. Maybe there's a bigger timepiece down there. So as they're fighting, all of a sudden, or they're just meeting, these things come through that are called Occam's razors, which is funny because that's actually like a real legitimate scientific principle.
Yep, but these are actual like flying razor blades. So they stab him.
Yes.
Stab him to death.
By the way, do you know what the tenet of Occam's razor is?
Flying razor blades.
No. When presented with an issue or like a problem and you're looking for a solution, the simplest explanation tends to be the most accurate or the correct one.
Yeah, of course. The correct answer is usually the correct answer.
No, but like the when you can't figure it out, the simplest explanation is probably the right explanation. Yeah. So then this weird demon-like guy with some like hooved legs and weird horns.
Cloven feet
comes
Ram
through.
horns. His name is Savanti Romero, named after Tom Savini and George Romero.
He has a severe underbite and some fangs.
That too.
He has to work on that. But Romero has some issues with Renette, who he keeps calling Honey. We'll find out later why. But they're fighting, and then Renette is able to get them out of there using her time scepter.
Gonna time travel back to whenever the hell.
Way back, the past. We're not sure where in the past.
Gonna go back in time.
You're no Huey Lewis.
But am I the news?
No, we already did the news.
Okay.
The news is over. But they're on top of this giant plateau with some ruins. Then all of a sudden,
like that mashed potato tower from Close Encounters.
Yeah, it kind of does a little bit. I thought it was like El Capitan from Yosemite National Park. Uh-oh, look out. This guy steals her time scepter away.
Savanti Romero
takes the scepter of time. So now all of a sudden the turtles are stuck back in time.
Back in time.
It's going to be a long reading corner if you do that.
Probably.
But they're dinosaurs. So we know that Zach is already loving this.
I enjoy a dinosaur.
More than one dinosaur. You love all the dinosaurs.
I enjoy a Cretaceous or a Jurassic.
Yes. They're fighting off these pterodactyls. She kind of breaks the news to the turtles that we're stuck here until whenever he comes back. And they're like, are you sure he's going to come back? Oh, yeah. He's going to come back for us because we dated. So he's like the creepy ex-boyfriend.
Which is new news if you've read, 30 years of Turtles.
That he dated her?
Yeah. New news.
Well, it's not really official news anymore.
It's 2006 Mexican news.
Yes. So as they've hung out for a while here on this top, the turtles and Renette, who's now lost her funny hat, and she's now wearing like some sort of bikini.
A loin and a cloth.
Yes.
A linen.
Well, that's because one of the turtles took her fancy hat while gathering firewood.
Because, everyone needs a hat.
I think it's Donatello because he's also constructed some weapons, so I'm guessing it's him.
Could be.
And I'm guessing this is Michelangelo because he's saying things like the meat of Neanderthal champions.
He also stabbed that dinosaur through the mouth and out the butt.
It's a Porkosaurus. But they've all kind of like generated Neanderthal clothing and looks.
It's like, look, we're stuck here. We might as well, live.
So then here's like a scene. They're laying under the stars, and Donatello asks, "How did you say that when we find you in New York to act like you act like you already knew us?" And she says, "Oh, you appeared in my History's Heroes of Time manual."
Act surprised when we meet in 1986, okay?
Yes.
So I guess when they meet in issue 8, they've already met.
And it says it right there. See TMNT Volume 1, Number 8.
There's actually an editor's note.
Ooh, funny. Like us.
It's like I picked a clever name.
I'm shocked that you did. But then out of nowhere, there are boxes. They wake up in the morning, they find boxes. They have dead cats in them. Schrodinger's cat. Right away.
I got issues with that whole theory. I said it to you. Like, well, if you don't open them, you don't know. I'm like, if you don't open it, the cat's definitely going to die.
It's the concept. You don't know if the cat is alive or dead. So at the moment, before you open the box, the cat is both simultaneously alive and dead.
Yeah, but if you don't open it, it's just going to die if it's not already.
It has to be one or the other before you open it.
And then dead if you leave it long
But
enough.
I mean, if in real life you put a cat in a box.
Schrodinger's cat's a bunch of crap. But then they open up the boxes, there's a bunch of dead cats, some other ones attack them in giant old demon form.
Yes, demon cats, which Renette calls them Schrodinger boxes. So, like, the turtles, like, Donatello's like, what is with all these scientific things? Occam's razor, Schrodinger's cat. And then Michelangelo gets knocked off the giant cliff and somehow does not die.
He lands on his shell.
Yes.
It's fine.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Man, I love being a turtle.
Glad they didn't say that.
They did in the movie. He also, by the way, Mikey doesn't fight fair. He kicks his cat in the cat parts. And the little, I love it. The cat just goes, meow.
How does that translate from English to Spanish to Russian back to English?
I think a nut shot is universal.
It's meow.
Yes. I think if you were to go kick anybody in the groin part, they're gonna go meow,
Yeah.
or they're gonna go and like cough and die. And
My cat doesn't have those parts.
mine doesn't either. So anyway, by the way, during this whole time, Raphael been missing. Nobody knows where he is. Typical Raph, just kind of walks off.
He comes back with war paint on. It looks like a weird mustache.
War paint and a loincloth that doesn't really cover the turtle loins. And
It's a tail.
yes,
It's not a dick, it's a tail.
yes, I know that turtles have tails.
They also
So
have dicks.
oh my god. There are also turtles with vaginas out there, just saying. Not all turtles
What?
have dicks. This is a damned abomination. Thought that turtles, there were only male turtles. The comic books have lied to me all my life. Well, that was a wonderful sidebar.
Oh, fair.
But then there's some velociraptors that show up. They're just like only in there for a couple of panels. And this is when it gets real, because they show back up just in time for Demon Guy to
Savante Romero.
Savante Romero to show back up. But he totally screws over Donatello with a time bubble, and he turns him old. So now we get a bunch of Donatello making old person jokes.
I need to pee.
Yeah, I need
Because
to...
I'm old.
Yes. I love it. It's like, damn, it turned Don into an old turtle. Take him to a safe place. Come on, Gramps, speak louder, son. So they're fighting and fighting and fighting, and then he throws down this,
The Sands of Time.
yes, this hourglass of the sands of time. Yeah, so they fight this weird sand monster thing
Of time.
of time. By the way, Renette could have been much more helpful because she finally just helped Donatello get back to normal. Like, she could have done that, like, immediately. Why did she have to wait? Just a question.
She thought it was funny seeing a wrinkly turtle.
Yes, but she works on casting a spell, turning Romero into, well, an infant. Meanwhile, the sands of time are also just whooshing sand everywhere. I mean, like, tons and tons and tons of sand, which is important
It
later.
gets everywhere.
Yeah, literally, it's coarse
Yeah.
and rough. It's irritating.
I don't like that.
So she hits him with the Big Bang yolk thing, whatever, that turns him into a baby. But he casts a final spell, which turns her into a novice time person.
It turns her into the Valley Girl that she is when we see her first in Turtles number 8.
Ah,
And she's finally become Honey. Or just a double Valley Girl.
thank you. So then they, how do you travel back?
Time Scepter.
They did, well, no, they're trying to figure out how to travel back. So then it's funny, Donatello is reading National Geographic, sees the mountain ruins where they fought Savante Romero in the Gobi Desert. And the origin of the Gobi Desert itself has gotten lost in antiquity. All of that sand a mystery. It can't be, like, can it? So apparently all the sand came from their fight with Savante Romero.
Yep.
So it's pretty much saying the turtles created the desert.
Wow. How unfortunate.
Yes. There it is.
That's about it. This weird replacement issue, it's fine by itself, but it's just has such a weird history. One of the weirder comic histories I've ever heard of.
It's an interesting little standalone story. If you're not well versed in like Turtles lore like I am, it's very easy to get confused.
It's just nice to have something like years later, like, oh, here's a totally completed issue that they did that you never got to read.
Now you said, didn't you say that was available online?
Yeah, the guy who did it at Russia, he's like, yeah, so this is super obscure. If you guys just want to get it, here it is.
So like you can download it, or
Yeah,
you can download like a PDF of it.
Yeah.
Now the printing is, you can't buy a print of that though.
No.
So you have a rare piece of history with you.
I do.
So cool for you. Good on you, sir.
But that's a weird little thing. From English, a spiteful English book, to a Mexican book, to a Russian book, back to a 3 times translated English book.
So I would say, you know what? If you're into Turtles or you're into like weird, obscure comic book history,
Download it, I guess.
Download
It'd be
it.
easier.
yeah.
But that'll do it for Jared's Reading Corner. We're moving on to letters.
2?
No, damn it.
No, not again like that.
It's so awkward. The editors.
Oh.
Lot of questions, number one. Damn few answers.
Here's another one of your letters to the editors.
Make it so.
I got a fun one. This is a good one.
All right.
I think you'll like this
Okay.
one. If you had to eat a species from the Star Wars universe, what would you eat?
Ooh. Well, I've always wanted to try the blue milk. I've always been curious about
It's
that.
not a species, that's milk.
Well, no. I'm just saying, if we're gonna talk about Star Wars food for a second. By the
They
way,
came from Amperu, for all you know.
by the way, I read an article that there's technology they're working on now, and they've been able to do it where it's a solar powered moisture evaporator. Like in arid places, it can generate moisture. Like it's like straight out of Tatooine. I'll show you after the show.
This has nothing to do with the question.
No, but you asked a Star Wars question. Man, I don't know. I think Wampa would be kind of interesting.
You need a Wampa.
Not a Tauntaun, because they smell worse on the inside than they do on the outside. I feel like that would not be appetizing to eat. Ooh, I don't know. This is tough.
Mon calamari.
Yeah?
Well, it's right up front. It's calamari.
Oh, yeah, well,
I enjoy calamari.
fair enough. Could I fry it?
My answer is, because my real life opinion of meat is the cuter the animal, the better it tastes, I'll eat an Ewok.
Oh, no. That's terrible.
I stand by the real life. Like, you
Save me a drumstick.
You give me a delicious
Dude.
bunny. I'm like, this is a tasty rabbit. What an adorable little bunny.
Do Ewoks have drumsticks? Would they have a drumstick?
It's just a leg. I mean, that leg's like the size of a chicken.
What about I feel like it would eat like a Womp Rat, because you can shoot them with your T-17.
You don't know what those look like.
You don't either.
That's why I want to eat it.
What about that one-eyed thing in the trash compactor?
No, it lives in the trash compactor.
I'm just saying, there's things that eat from the trash that you've probably
I stand by the Ewok.
The Ewok.
I'll eat an Ewok.
Wow. What about a Wookiee? Do you think Wookiee would be delicious?
No, I feel like they're not fatty enough.
They'd be gamey.
Yeah.
I feel like if it's too humanoid, like if it walks on 2 feet, would you eat an animal that walks on 2 feet?
Well, I mean, we don't really know the humans in Star Wars are humans, so you know what? I'll say I'll eat a Han Solo. I'll also eat a Solo. We don't know if he's human.
Oh God, he is human.
We don't know that. Star Wars. Humanoid.
I feel like Wampa could be like a buffalo, like a bison burger. Like a Wampa burger. Yeah, Wampa.
I'll eat a Greedo.
Nah, that doesn't look. Nah.
Or that weird guy in New Hope who, like...
Oh, with the butt chin face?
Yes, you can eat butt face. I was going to say the guy who rats on them. We don't actually know his name. He just, like, speaks an alien language, has, like, a big, long nose.
Yeah. Wow.
You never actually answered.
No, I said Wampa.
You're staying with Wampa?
Yeah.
I stand with Ewok. I'd eat an Ewok.
You would.
Especially the babies.
Like Ewok veal?
Yeah. I actually want them chained and put in a box.
No, free range, man. Free range.
No, they need to... Oh, God, no muscle mass. They just need to be tasty and tender.
Just a grass-fed,
I want to chain an Ewok in a box in the dark, break its spirit, and then eat its tender body.
No, it's gonna be full of like. No, if you're gonna do it, free range, grass-fed.
I don't care about their living conditions.
I'm telling you right now, free range, grass-fed Ewok. If you're gonna do it, go that route.
But we know the Ewoks eat meat. They were also ready to eat Han Solo.
That's true.
I'm ready, and so are they. You know what? Give me a buffet. I'll take a poo-poo platter for 2.
I thought that maybe we had reached like the edge as far as you would go. But then the day that you said you would eat an Ewok, I feel like we've reached new ground. And then followed up with like, oh, and then we're going to eat Han Solo? We'll have a side of him too.
If I can, I'll take a slice of Force Ghost.
You can't-
I'll eat Yoda.
Oh, you like a Yoda?
I feel like he'd be an escargot.
I don't think he's not a snail. He's not like he doesn't have a shell.
But I bet he's slimy.
I don't.
He's like an oyster. You just have to suck him down. You don't chew. Just Yoda.
I drink up your milkshake, Yoda.
Yes.
I drink it up. Big sale going on at the store these days.
Yep. I looked at the bills that were due at the end of this week and said it's time for a sale.
Spring cleaning.
Is that too honest?
Spring cleaning at the store.
I think that's too honest.
It's
but...
way too honest. Probably shouldn't put that on the podcast.
Yeah, whatever.
So, big spring cleaning sale at the store. Tell us about it a little bit.
A lot of stuff's 50% off. Graphic novels are buy one, get one half off. Come buy some stuff. It's cheap.
It's half the price you'd pay otherwise.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the thing that I'm doing.
So 50% off. Is that 50% off all regular books?
Except for stuff that came out this week or last week.
Okay, so except for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So no new releases or week olds. And buy one, get one off graphic novels.
Buy one, get one half off. Not buy one, get one off.
That's
just buy one, get one free. No, buy one, get one half off.
Buy one, get one off really doesn't sound that good either if you really think about it. Nope. Let's not. Let's move on.
And then Free Comic Book Day is coming up the first Saturday in May.
Week and a half away.
17 days. 16 days when this comes out.
Oh, 16 days?
I think.
No, because
16 days? Who the hell knows? First Saturday, May 6th. It's May 6th.
It's 2 weeks from Saturday.
Yep. But beyond that, you can find me over on editorsnotecomics.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the YouTubes, the iTunes.
There's only one YouTube. There can be only one, Zach.
If you want to support the show, get the show a day early most weeks. Not this week because Jared was sick and bitched out.
Okay, no. Partially true. I said, would you mind? And you said no. And I said, because I didn't want to expose the household to the illness.
You can go over to patreon.com/editorsnotecomics, give $1 per month, get the show a day early every single week. And you're on Twitter.
At Junior Rich, which, by the way, cool fact about my Twitter, blew up the other night. Absolutely blew up because I dropped some real Twitter heat. I'd like to share with you a statistic from my Twitter the other night. I want to know if you're getting these kind of numbers on your Twitter. I should have gotten the little blue check mark for this. So Saturday night, the movie The Ten Commandments was on. You know the movie The Ten Commandments, right?
I'm aware of the Ten Commandments.
Okay. Well, yes, but the movie, are you also aware of the movie The Ten Commandments?
I'm aware of the movie.
All right. So anyway.
It's all Hestiny.
So I'm there, and I'm kind of like live tweeting it a little bit, just for fun.
Damn you! Damn you all to hell!
So,
wrong movie.
So I make the following comment. How does Moses make coffee? He brews it. I got over 200 likes, 55 retweets from people I don't even know. The tweet activity... Over 13,000 people saw the tweet. 13,643 people. There was a period of time when you would click on the 10 Commandments hashtag, and mine was the top tweet. Winning!
I'm sorry, I think you had a response to that tweet.
Yes, I did. You were one of the engagements in the tweet.
You just said, boo!
So let it be written. So let it be done. I picked up 5 new followers.
Look, I'd really like to pry that tweet from your cold, dead fingers.
Too late, man. It's out there. You can't take that back. I was the #1 tweet under a hashtag for a period of time, just adding to my local internet celebrity status.
But we'll be back next week to maybe talk about a duck movie. I don't know. I don't remember what's on the schedule.
Something.
Maybe a duck movie.
I got another good Moses joke if you want it.
I don't, but...
Okay, well, here we go. So, Jesus, Moses, and an old guy are out playing golf one day. So Moses steps up, hits a 9-iron. It's a little par 3. Hits a 9-iron, lands in the fairway, and starts rolling towards water trap. Well, Moses holds his hands out. The water opens up. The ball rolls down across the dry little pond bed and up onto the green about 10 feet from the hole. Jesus says, oh, good job, Moses. Jesus gets up. He tees off. Ball's going toward the water. And Jesus holds his hand up. The ball hovers over the water. Jesus kind of walks out there, chips onto the green, 5 feet from the hole. Old man gets up there and he hits a shot and just shanks it. Hits off of a tree, startles a bird, who then grabs it in flight, drops it by the pond where a frog is startled, jumps off a lily pad, nudges the ball onto the green and into the cup. Moses looks at Jesus and goes, "Man, I hate golfing with your dad." See you next week!